So welcome back to the channel. My apologies, this morning we were streaming online at the castle, and for some unknown reason my microphone had some major issues and therefore there was no audio on the stream for about the first half hour. So luckily, because I've had some issues in the past, I did actually tape this. I'll make a copy of this, and so here is the part that you missed because I took the other video down off the channel because I knew I had this. So I will attempt to talk my way through the progress on the channel, on the castle, and then we'll start to get into some building. So where we started is we just have a good look around where we ended up last week, and this was the schoolhouse had been completed from last week. And I actually end up chopping the schoolhouse down by about one foundation block width, right there, and then we had finished up the last stream with the pub, which is off to the right there. We'll just have a quick look inside in a sec. So you can see these flower pots that have been made out of cinder breeze blocks, which are pretty neat. Made a little bit of a schoolyard out here and put a fence around it. Love these flamingos with the hats on. That's a really cool addition. Chuck them in the front yard and put a flagpole in, and we'll go inside in a sec and you can have a look around. So I believe my capture card. So here we are inside the schoolroom, and I ended up making just a single classroom. You can see it's a pretty standard look around the place. Pretty nice little classroom, come schoolroom, and yeah, it turned out really nice. I'm really happy with this, and thanks again to Chaos and Fallout for the idea, man. And the office area, I just tidied up and put a few more items in there. So we have got the pub to do today. I wasn't happy with the overall look today, so in today's stream I'll completely strip the walls off of that and redo it. The one thing I did do is I put a foundation down below, hang it off the kind of wall there, and tried to make it look as though it blended in. We done some decorating in this little market stall, so made it a clothing store essentially. Done a little bit of decoration in there from the last stream, and we still have this area off to our left, which we'll get to in a second, to work on. So we might start there today and just put some things in there, and then we'll go from there and we'll do the pub. So one of the things that I wanted to do here is we always put these counters in, and I wanted to do something a little bit different for this market stall. So I start off by maybe putting this table in here, and I end up deciding that's maybe just a little bit too formal for the look I'm going for, but you get the general idea. Don't get locked into the fact that you need to use canters all the time, and really, if you think about it and you think about the environment of Fallout and the whole story of Fallout, I don't think the settlers would necessarily, especially in these kind of market stalls, they would find things like tables and whatnot and boxes and stuff to make their stall. So that's the kind of look I'm going for. Nice little scrappy look. And so we'll start with the table, and we'll start to put multiple things in here. And I'm really not going to do a complete build on this. I just wanted to do this to show you and give you an idea what might be possible. So yeah, just to give you a couple more ideas. So I decided to put these barrels and boxes in here, and one of the things that you'll have a problem with placing these is because of those nets that are over them and the collision that they give. So I'd use place anywhere just to get it into place. There we go. Yeah. I don't know why I'm a bit particular about that, the placement of this, but that's alright. Get it into place just like that. Nice. and then we start to use these boxes as kind of a counter stroke shelves, etc. And it's really a case of when you're building things like this, it's just a case of adding elements, and just keep adding elements and building it up and adding some depth into it. Put some around the corner here. And I'm not quite sure what the shop's going to be at this point. I think in the end I end up making an armor shop or something like that, but we'll show you kind of the basic build of it, and then we'll go and do some more building upstairs. So what I was saying here is, if this is just too narrow, you can always use a different box and put a narrower box in there just to fill that area there. And you know, just really going for that market stall vibe, where they've really just used whatever they could find. And so we might... Oh, that's okay. So what I was going to say, if you're going to use tables or something like that, Elvin Blossom has a great app where she's done a whole lot of shops in the mods, pre-made shops, but she also has these, so you can see that I can show you a few of these pre-made shops that are a little bit different to what you see. She's also got these tills that you can just drop onto a table like that and assign a settler to, and that's an armor store. It's really cool idea, and it just gives you so much scope to build a store without having to rely on canters, that the canters that you get as vanilla in Fallout 4, where that you can assign a settler to. So the last thing to do is just put a couple of shelves in here, courtesy of do-it-yourself. There we go. So we'll put one just there. For some reason these pallets wouldn't let me place things on top of them. I don't know why, but anyway, we just use place anywhere to get them to fit. And there's something going on, something we would have seen it then. There was something weird going on with those actually rendering in and placing them in. There's like a delay or something. So put a couple of shelves in there, and then just use do-it-yourself. For you decorators like me that are not the best decorators, and a little bit lazy, and haven't got the patience to put lots and lots of singular items in. Do-it-yourself is brilliant, where you can just get pre-made shelf fillers, which we will go and show you in a minute. And we'll just add a whole lot of items into the shelves in a couple of seconds. There you go, just like that. And there's a whole lot of different options for you. Full shelves and half shelves options that you can put in here. And so we'll go to the half shelf options. So there's 4 different options here, and you can just continue to fill your shelves up with different looking items. So just so there's not a repeating kind of pattern or something like that. And pretty much this is done. So I will do a little bit more work on this as far as decoration goes during the week, but really when we're on stream, we've tended to just do the building part pretty much, and then move on, and decoration comes later. So there you go, put a couple of helmets there and we're all good. So a real quick and easy way of just putting a different shop or different look for a shop, and because we've gone for that kind of market vibe around the Radio Freedom building, it all works perfectly. So where to next? So now we'll concentrate on the pub. So coming back to this, is we built this building last week. We built this building, yes we did, and I just was not happy with the way it looked at all. And so we finished the stream with looking like this, and I spent some time just having a look at different materials, potential different materials, just to make the look a little bit better. And so what I decided to do is go for a stone and wood look. So stone on the bottom, wood on the top. So we'll get into that in a second. So we'll take a wall out, find the right kind of stone walls for this, and we'll do some rinse and repeat stuff, I guess. We might give you some music while we're doing that, because it is very much, given that I've recorded this after the stream, I've got a little bit more flexibility in my editing on what we can do here while we get the walls in. So there we go, we got a majority of the walls in. We'll just finish up here. And I really do like the stone walls, really do work very well. It really gives that old bar feel big time. So there we go. Okay, what next? So what I was going to do here is I was going to actually match up these floors. You can see to the right there, the floors are wooden. And then I suddenly realised that one of the things I'd like to do, and I built this in the video I put up last Monday, which was the house on the hill, the second part of the house on the hill. I actually built a little cellar in the King's Room, if you've seen that video. If you haven't, go and check it out. And I just thought maybe I could build a cellar for the pub here, so that's what we're going to do here. So if you're going to build this, you really need to have some kind of area underneath, and you can see I've hung this out outside the wall, and I've extended the wall. And basically all you need to do is just put these walls on. I'll find them in a sec, these ones. There you go. So I put foundation blocks in initially, and so you can make this as big as you like by just removing those foundation blocks and adding walls, and suddenly you have a space down here that you can work with. My initial thought was to have this as another part of the bar, and I decided in the end just to put it in. You'll see later, and if you watch the second stream video, you'll see I just end up making this a storeroom. You could potentially put a couple of rooms down here actually, if you think about it. And then just add the floors back in, up the top there. Pretty simple stuff. And suddenly you've got a cellar. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a window in here, because it can be quite dark down here, especially when I'm building. So again, I'm going to use the warehouse tab here. And I think Workshop Rearranged gives us these long windows. They are there, and they fit perfectly in here. And I've used this idea to build a window a number of times, man. So it's I know it works. There you go. So we'll get back into the blocks and finish the floor off. Now, one of the things that I do like to do, and we'll get to it in a second, is, you know, obviously you're going to have a set of stairs to move from the bottom area here to the top, and I always like to have those sitting off the wall at least one block width. So we'll put the stairs in it next, right there. There we go. And I did have an issue because I put a full one in there, and this is always the tricky part when you put stairs in, just to get that ceiling above right. So always have that one square so you don't run straight into the wall, and then we'll just add the floors in here as needed, and you pretty much just need one of these longer blocks and a single block and you're good. There we go. And now we have this. Now we have a cellar. Good, all good. So if you want to see the remainder of the stream, I do have another issue with the microphone. So if you want to see me struggle and trying to work it out, please watch the second part of the stream. And finally, it didn't take me long to figure out what was going on. I think one of the cables in my capture card had actually just come loose, and it was just, there was no game audio, no audio at all. So again, I do apologise for that, but we end up figuring it out. And you can see that's pretty flawless. You can't tell that there's actually a room in there compared to what it used to look like. So we'll finish this off. We'll put the railings in. I go with the railings you get with the barn tab in vanilla extensions, and you can use whatever railings you like for here. Here we go. Excellent. And we'll put one more in. You might have to glitch this one in. I think I end up having to glitch this in because it was just giving me some grief. Using place anywhere, you can use the pillar or whatever you need to, whatever glitching tools you're used to using. And there we go. Got a little entranceway downstairs, and we will do some work with that a little bit later in the stream. So stay tuned. So the next thing I think we do here is to figure out the floors and get the floors looking uniform. And again, that was workshop rearranged. Gives you lots of tools to do that. And we'll figure it out in a second. I think I've stopped here to talk to the stream, so we might cut that out, which is pretty funny really, because I was stopped to talk to the stream and read the chat. Of course they couldn't hear me. Anyway, that's all good. The irony is not lost. Okay, so these are pretty good. These are fantastic. In fact, they snap nice and neatly on. And the nice thing about the dev for Workshop Rearranged is that he's given us the long pieces and the single pieces as well, so that you never have a gap here. Some of the other ones, all you get is the full floor pieces, and you'll see what I mean in a second. I'll show you. So these are all full pieces, but obviously there's a single piece there that you need to add. There you go, and then a long piece there, and then a single piece. Fantastic. And the floor's done, and you wouldn't know that any construction work had been done there. All good. So I think the last piece that I start to talk about, and this is where I start to figure out that the microphone's not working, is just adding pillars and different elements into this bar just to change up the look a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this catch-up video here, and you can pick it up in the second part of the live stream video, because pretty much it starts again at this point inside. So guys, again, I apologise for the technical problems we had this morning. I hope this has helped to catch you up with what we did in the first 25 to 30 minutes of the stream. Thanks for supporting the channel. It was a great stream today. It was great to catch up with everybody, and we will catch you next time. I hope you have a great weekend. See ya.